What kind of stupid ass? Welcome to Ranger Reviews, a web series we look at episodes of the TV show Power Rangers and then discuss them. Today we're exploring the 5th episode of the show, Power Rangers Turbo, as well as the 210th episode overall, titled Transmission Impossible. We begin this episode in space where we see a space car racing. Yep. Anyways, at KAJB, Angel Grove radio station, Tanya is there as a DJ, throwing it to a commercial. Kat shows up, coming in while the music plays, talking about how great the place is. Then suddenly, a voice starts coming in over the radio, saying, "Emergency! Emergency!" and asking for a response. Tanya turns it up after stupid Kat asks what they're saying, and then the voice says that they're trying to contact Demetria. Dun dun dun. Underwater, Porter lets everyone know he's intercepted a message from an approaching spacecraft. Also, Elgar is electrocuting himself during this bit. Porto relays the part about Demetria, and Divatox wants to know the source, which Porto will handle. Rygog will also prepare the destruction beam, and she tells Elgar to go play with the sharks. Jesus. Porto suggests they get rid of the radio station because it's acting as a homing beam, which Elgar will use a detonator for. Tanya and Kat need to tell Demetria about everything, and Kat explains that she'll go alone since Tanya can't just leave them while they're on the air. Kat teleports out. At the youth center, Stone is listening to Tanya on the radio when we see that the monkeys are there, and Bulk has an idea involving the radio. Elgar shows up outside the radio station, humming about how happy he is to get to blow up the place, and he puts a bomb down on the radio tower, leaving. Of course, it's set for an hour. At the power chamber, Adam and Kat are working with Alpha to figure out where the message is coming from, and Adam gets a lock on the coordinates. Demetria asks if it's in Querus, but then we see that the spacecraft is on the viewing globe. Also, there's a robot, like Robocop looking guy inside, who Demetria refers to as Visceron. He is on his way to Earth with urgent information, and Demetria asks him to just spill it, but he says that he can't because the transmission could be being monitored. We see that he's right because Divatox and Elgar are actually listening in. They're very upset about all of this, and Divatox demands that Rygog go get Visceron and bring him in alive so they can get the information out of him. Elgar also rehashes that there's a bomb for no reason. Porto fires the capture beam toward Vector 197 and it hits Visceron, which they see in the power chamber. Alpha knows right away that this has to be Divatox's doing, and the villains celebrate. At the radio station, Tanya's turbo navigator starts going off and she checks, realizing that a detonator is close by. So wait, that's just a thing? The baddies have Visceron with them in the ship, and Divatox tries to be nice, asking for the information, but Visceron declines. She says that she wants him to work for her, and Visceron declines again, and she starts to freak out, but then he's dragged away to the sea caves for torturing. Tanya's in the radio station, totally unable to get in contact with anyone else at all. Kat tries to call her, but then they can't get through either. Alpha figures out that the radio station is scrambling the communicator signal. That makes no sense whatsoever, but okay. Visceron is smoking for some reason and weak in the sea caves, and Elgar and Porto are there demanding answers, but again he refuses. Divatox has a new plan though. Make him a new servant and work him so hard that he just spills everything. Porto immediately says okay, taking out a freaking super soaker, hitting Visceron, turning him into a maid of some kind. Elgar gives him an apron and here we go. Visceron is super obsessed with cleaning to the point that it's even annoying Divatox. Meanwhile, Tanya is still just screaming out to the others on a communicator and no one's answering. Tanya, go outside or something, my god. In the power chamber, I guess Kat and Adam were listening to Tanya's radio station for whatever reason, and Tanya comes over, dedicating a special song to the Power Rangers called I Need You Now, and she says that this one is really the bomb. Yikes. Adam and Kat immediately know what's going on. Alpha awkwardly says that he'll send Tommy and Justin there too, since apparently those two were too busy to show up to work at all today. Shift in the turbo! Green and Pink show up at the radio station, which Divatox is watching, and she's pissed that they're there. She says to send down a school of Piranatrons, and she has an idea for Visceron. Piranatrons show up, and Kat and Adam fight them off. Where the hell are Tommy and Justin? Then they get a hold of Kat, and of course, that's when Tommy and Justin show up. Kat just got saved by a literal child. Great. The four of them fight off the Piranatrons who leave as Justin is sitting on one hurting himself like an idiot. The boys will look for the detonator splitting up right in front of it while Kat goes in to find Tanya. Visceron and Porto show up and Visceron is commanded to guard the bomb with his life. There's a cute little moment here where Visceron actually thinks that he has to guard it with his wife, but he goes, "But I'm not married." That was actually kind of funny. Porto leaves. The Pink Ranger shows up in front of Tanya in the radio station telling her that they have to find the bomb, and Tanya says that the bomb is near the tower according to the Turbo Navigator. Bitch, you couldn't just go out there and do something at this point? Whatever, Tanya morphs as they're putting on a long song. The 5 Rangers face off against Visceron, who fires at them with laser fingers. They then fight him, and the Rangers aren't doing so great against him. He then straight up tosses Tanya up the tower, but then she just comes down at him, and then he just slashes her down. Luckily, she lands near the bomb, which has 24 seconds left. She and Justin try to fight off Visceron, but Visceron wants the bomb back while the Rangers play hot potato with it. He even grabs it out of Kat's hands, and he's just happy to have it as he holds it up, and then it just explodes in his hands. Oh my god. The Rangers rush forward in a panic while the villains celebrate that they killed him. Then Visceron's body is there somehow, and he's turned back to normal, and Kat is surprised who it is, explaining that he's Dimitrio's friend that they were actually tracking. I mean, okay. In the celebration underwater, Divtox explains to Elgar how it's awesome because Visceron was just hurt by his allies, the Rangers. She asks, isn't it ironic? And Elgar breaks the freaking fourth wall to say, oh yeah, don't you think, kids? Looking at the camera? What? In the power chamber, everyone is there looking over Visceron, and Alpha says he's probably not going to make it. They apologize to Dimitria for killing her friend, and she's like, eh. Dimitria then says that there's power in love and friendship, and suddenly Visceron starts glowing white, and suddenly he's healed. They really just gave up in this script, huh? Visceron wakes up totally confused about why he's there. Dimitria wants to know why he came all this way, and he says that apparently it has come to light that her birth records were actually tampered with. Dimitria has always thought that she was an only child, but actually she has a twin sister who's out there somewhere. Don't get too excited about this. Outside, Adam, Tanya, and Kat are walking around talking about how crazy it is that Dimitria has a twin sister. Can't wait to meet her. They say that they'll find her, and Kat explains that it was really smart of Tanya to contact the Rangers via the radio station. And Tanya basically goes, oh shit, I'm supposed to be on the air right now. They run off, and at the radio station, Monkey, Bulk, and Skull are on the air just chattering. The three Rangers find them, shocked that the monkeys are doing this. The phone is ringing, and Tanya answers it, getting a call from the manager of the radio station. He thought that the idea of the monkeys on the show was hysterical, and he loved it. The monkeys apparently saved her job somehow. Whatever, the end. Man, Turbo was rough, guys. I mean, there has always been parts of Power Rangers as a whole that just didn't make logical sense, but usually you could kind of start to suspend belief enough to get through it as if it was like kind of part of its charm. But this is just messy. Like, it's pretty clear that somewhere the production team is pretty divided. I mean, we're getting a serious storyline in the same episode where a villain breaks the fourth wall. There's little to no consistency in tone in this episode, and it really hurts it overall. Also, get rid of those goddamn monkeys. Now, you may have picked this up from my jokes earlier, but long story short, we're never going to find out anything more about Dimitria's twin sister. It's actually a storyline that is entirely dropped and forgotten about from this episode on. I'll explain why exactly later on in the season. So will next time get at least a little bit better? Find out then, but until then, may the power protect you.